There. Solar. Alright, I'll be right back. I gotta get the close the chicken coop too.
Okay.
Know that you're live.
Yep. I'm awesome live. Ooh, awesome. Have fun skiing. Thanks for the cheer, Pendracos.
Alright.
We got a cheer from Pendracos.
Zoe's still awake a little bit, but she's about asleep. Oh, we got a cheer? Nice.
Yep.
Thank you for the cheer.
And Skeen said goodnight.
Skeen, fuck off. Just kidding. Just kidding, bro. Thanks, Pendracos. Appreciate it, dude. Alright. Let's do this thing. Open up my bumpers. Do. Take my breath away. In my head now. No? Whatever. Alright, so thanks everybody who's still in there. We are gearing up for the main shoe. This will go fairly quick. We got some good stuff though, dude. I'm excited. When my mic goes out, let me know. Because I got to replace batteries.
Okay.
I mean, you don't have a lot of jobs, to be honest. I mean, just, you got to deal with this. No. Actually, you can just mute this too if you want. Rather than put that over down. It's up to you. Perfect time to start. Will's giving me the face. All right, here we go.
Blast came from the Death Star. That thing's operational.
Dr. Banner. Now might be a really good time for you to get angry.
That's my secret, Captain. I'm always angry.
Hello and welcome to episode 135 of the Usual Podcast, a podcast where we discuss Star Wars: The Old Republic, the Star Wars franchise, and geek and pop culture. I'm your host, Marshall, looking into the weirdly snarling face of my co-host, Will. What's up, bro? How you doing? Welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you. And I do have a quick question about what you said before the intro thing. And my question is giving you the face better than... I really can't go on because I realize it's a really inappropriate joke. All right.
You just realized, that aside, I just realized because Skeen was on last week, we're on the wrong side.
Yeah, you switched the pictures.
Hold, please. Thanks.
Thanks, Pendrakos.
Yeah, you reminded us that we were looking awkwardly away from each other when we shouldn't be. Thanks, buddy. You're all right. So what were you saying? Being a jerk?
Yeah, it was just an inappropriate joke, so I won't go there.
And we're just sitting here.
I think we still have a student in the room.
My God. And we're just sitting here enjoying our usual frosty beverages. What are you drinking, my friend?
I am drinking a Diet Pepsi mixed with a little bit of pirate rum.
Yeah. It's a little freaky, honestly, dude. And we've gotten that feedback before, and once we start recording in the same room, it's actually kind of weird because we had to kind of figure out, he's got a camera, I got a camera, so how do we look at each other when we're actually looking at each other, but we're not looking at each other?
I know how I always look at you.
Okay.
Lovingly.
But this is why I don't say things. So anyway, what I'm drinking, since everybody wants to know, is a little something ale from Lagunitas Brewing Company.
With a backup.
With a backup of the same pirate rum, which I'm not a huge fan of, but, you know.
It's very saccharine.
Yeah, it is what it is. So, here we are. All right, so before we get started, if you have comments or questions, you can find us at theusualpodcast.com. Email us at theusualpodcast@gmail.com. And we're on Facebook, Google+, Pinterest, Instagram, Twitch, and YouTube. I am at @Pops on Twitter, and Will is at @IamRealGriggs. And you can find us on your favorite podcatchers, iTunes, Stitcher Radio, Google Play, etc. And so like us, share us, and tell people. Why not, right?
Word.
All right, don't get aggressive. So you can support the show, Usual Podcast gear, teespring.com/store/Usual Podcast. We got a bunch of stuff up there, dude.
Yeah, especially please take a look at our mashup shirt with Extra Life.
Yeah,
because all proceeds will go to the Extra Life charity, and for each shirt bought, it's about $10. So please take advantage of that.
Yeah.
We already have quite a few people who've done it.
For sure. And that's just gearing up for our normal Extra Life contributions that we do every year anyway.
Yep.
So might as well get it going now. And we do have the timestamps in the show notes if you're not a SWTOR fan. We have a little SWTOR news to cover this week, and then we'll get to Star Wars and pop culture as we always do. So thanks to everybody who is in the chat room that stayed with us through trailer time and everything else. You are awesome, and we love you.
And those who didn't take advantage of trailer time, please go to patreon.com/usualpodcast and become a patron and get the trailer time later.
Indeed. So, shall we?
We shall.
Oops, wrong.
You want to fight? I'm ready.
You do not have to stand against me. Instead, I will share all of this with you, if you will only kneel.
Oh, not only did we get a cheer, we got a host. Thank you.
Ooh.
Thanks, Pendrakos. You're awesome. Thank you. So we are in the SWTOR section of our show, and you missed last week, William.
I did.
And I ain't mad at you, but here we are.
I was having dinner with my mommy.
No, dude. I said I wasn't mad at you.
my mom.
All right. Let's not get weird. All right, so weekend game, dude. What'd you do this week?
Actually, I've been playing quite a bit this week, mostly because the new stuff came out.
Update 5.9.
Thank you. The new update came out, and Mako's getting released, and so I've gone through all the content with my
Release the Mako.
I know, right? I've gone through all the content with my main, which is my sniper, but my secondary is my bounty hunter, who hasn't gone through Kotet yet, and so I'm running through the Kotet chapters right now, so I can get through and reunite husband and wife.
It's freaking adorable.
I'm really picturing that Mako's going to be slapping some crap out of me, because she would know that I've returned, and
well, here's the thing. Your adorable reunion aside, I support you, and however that goes,
word,
it's gonna go terribly.
Well, with that character, I've purposely not romanced anybody since the return.
Oh God,
because I knew that Mako was eventually going to return, and I didn't want to ruin anything.
Will Griggs, role player at heart. Okay, so I what have I done? I am finally back to What's an Ops group, and I have missed my friends so much. It's been about a month. And it was very sad.
It's been a really weird month.
Yeah, and so I picked up a couple shifts, and I was out of town and everything else. So I ran with What's an Ops group last week, and everybody, of course, is like, "Oh my God, you're alive!" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm alive."
Did you fall asleep?
No, I did not sleep tank this time.
Nice.
I was awake and had some beers with my friends. We did a really nice TFB run. And went really well.
Very cool.
And we busted that out, and we finished just in time, because speaking of crazy, stuff going on in lives, my parents were on the road coming towards us as I was playing with my friends. So anyway, I got that done just in time to meet up with my parents, and all was well. And I'm messing around with Twitch a little bit, and so. Going forward, I'm putting What's an Ops group runs into a collection on Twitch, and what I don't know how long that stays there, if that's or whatever, but I'm doing that because I talk about What's an Ops group, but really it's a beginner
right, beginner raid group.
Yeah, raid group. So what's nice about it is if you want to know really just how casual we are, jump into the videos that I have in the collections. I've got two of them up right now, the last two runs. So definitely check that out.
Marshall has fallen asleep tanking.
Yeah, well,
and it's okay.
I didn't put those in there. So the last two runs are in there, and so definitely check it out if you want to know just kind of the banter and the fun that we have. A lot of people, you may have heard voices on other podcasts and stuff from SWTOR Podcast.
It is a fun group
as well.
I just wish I liked rating.
Yeah, well, here we are. So news. Let's get to some news, my friend. So after we recorded last time, there was some issues with Game Update 5.9, and one of them had to do with achievements, and the achievements seem to have reset. It was weird.
Well, that's the whole point of 5.9.8, right?
Well, yeah. So the title is All My Incomplete Achievements Reset, and so that was something that they fixed actually today, which I'll talk about here in a couple minutes with the patch notes, but basically they were trying to figure it out, and it is slated for no, that one isn't fixed. Sorry, that one is not fixed. Or either that, yeah. Sorry, that one's not fixed. My bad. That one is going to be fixed on the 22nd in their next update. So
okay, cool.
That's just where it is. So here we are. So it says Keith came out and he says, I had the title fixed, a very serious issue. We're working resolution right now, and this was on the 4th, about a week ago. And the goal is to match up your achievements before the patch and merge them with your progress made after 5.9.
Okay.
So actually, I feel like they fixed this. We have Game Update 5.9. Oh, it says we have Game Update 5.9.1 scheduled for May 22nd.
Right.
We'll be addressing other issues may have encountered with 5.9. But I think this particular one was fixed today.
Okay, cool.
Actually. Yeah, I do.
Well, because the longer they take to fix that, the more intricate it will be to line everything up.
Yeah, duh. I have the patch notes right here. So it says fix an issue that caused progress for certain achievements to be randomly reset after 5.9, and achievements that were previously affected have now been resolved. So that's done. But there's some other stuff lingering that they got to figure out. So
Awesome.
Here we are.
Well, I'm glad they fixed that pretty quick because you know me, I'm an achievement whore.
Yeah, well, you say that, but I'm just kidding, dude. There's some other things that were fixed today that came with the patch. The objective crafting invasion force no longer automatically completes when the player receives an invasion force item, so that I can see that being a problem. And fix an issue with completed daily conquest objectives resetting when logging into another character. So obviously that can be a problem too. And completed daily objectives can now only be completed once per day for each legacy. And I think this is kind of a spoiler, so I'm not going to
really
say.
quick. So you're saying that daily achievements can only happen daily?
That's the way it's supposed to be.
I know. It's
Weird, right?
Shocking.
I know. The last one is kind of maybe a spoiler. I'm not going to read that one. It has to do with the gravestone and whatever else going on. So,
Yeah, I don't want to know about that.
yeah. And all right, dude. So there, I love this post. This is like my favorite post of the week.
Is this Jess?
Yeah, you would think. So the name of the post is "Thanks for Theron Shan." Heart, heart, heart. This is a love thread. Haters make your own. LOL. I didn't dive into this because I haven't got to play the new content yet. I've been too busy.
Me neither.
And I plan to do that between now and the time we record the next show. But what was funny, I just thought that there's a lot of stuff going on there. I saw little bits, but I put the link in the show notes if you want to check out the thread. So
I don't know. I've never been a huge fan of Theron Shan anyways.
nice stuff. Well, in the novel, he's really good though. It's pretty cool.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. So
I thought this next one was funny.
Yeah, you want to hear
because
something
actually,
crazy?
I was looking through the show notes earlier.
Yeah.
And very rarely when you put stuff up in here for the SWTOR news, I very rarely click through.
Rarely.
I clicked through and read all 2 pages of comments on this. I mean,
Did you really?
Not the 2 pages of anything as much on the forum, but
No. Oh, cool.
But I actually clicked through to the forum and read all 2 pages on this.
So, because it said hidden achievement in it.
Well, no, that is why I clicked through. But then it's totally like one of those dumb achievements that I totally would do.
Right. But check this out. The crazy thing about this is, so there's a hidden achievement. It says, hidden achievement complete, can't recruit. So there was something going on where there was something being completed for a companion that was slated for a later release.
Right.
That leaked into this one.
Yeah, but the weird thing is if you read the the person who starts the thread, it's like I'm out running something with my buddy, and we just decided to go talk to this person in a cantina. Why in God's name would you just say I'm going to go talk to a random NPC that we've never talked to ever before? They must have heard of something or something.
Right. Yeah. So it's something that obviously it's supposed to be for later.
Yeah, well, and the thing is, if you read through what Charles Boyd says, is that they're not going to fix it yet.
Yeah, he said, actually, I really like this post. He says, Paxton is a tricksy pirate who's prone to mischief, apparently including sneaking into parts of the galaxy he's not supposed to be in yet. He's a work-in-progress promotional item meant for later this year. Apologies for letting him creep out from behind the curtain before he was ready. We'll most likely get him back under wraps in an upcoming patch, and then share more detail later when the time is right.
Well, are they going to consider it an exploit
No.
if you try to go and get it now?
No, I just think, but there's nothing, you can't recruit him or anything.
No,
There's
no,
really
but you get
nothing
the
going
achievement.
on.
I mean,
Well, sure.
it might be like one of those achievements that,
I'm guessing they're just going to give everybody the achievement and call it a day.
Probably.
And then move on. But yeah, I'm with you, dude. I think that's pretty cool, though.
Okay, really quick. Where have I heard the term tricksy pirate before?
Well, Trixie is from...
No, Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Trixie
Exactly.
Hobbit. Yeah, okay.
All right. So, people were speculating on why the patch happened today, and we already went through the patch notes, but there was some speculation about it having to do with the exploit and stuff. But
Okay.
anyway, and then there was one more thing we got to talk about before we get out of here. Let me just bring this up. So chapter 11 disavowed Theron Shan conversation bug. And I don't want to dive into this because I haven't played the content yet, but there's a bug where if you it's hard to explain. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. Let me find the original post real quick. And he says, so they go in to speak to him, and then a yellow bubble appears, and it's been there, and it bugs out. So really what it comes down to is they're going to fix it, obviously. But Charles Boyd says, we believe we found the issue behind this one. Thanks for bringing it to our attention. We're working on a fix, and that's going to come out on May 22nd, okay? But that said, somebody came up with a workaround, okay? And this is linked with Kotet, I believe, chapter 9. And he says, oh, no, okay. I'm getting things mixed up. So the workaround is start disavowed. As soon as it starts, jump out of it. And I have a link in the show notes for that. I'm not going to go through it because I don't want to get into spoilers. But it also says, Charles comes back and he says, note that we currently believe this workaround will only work if Koth is still present in the story. And
so it won't work for you.
Yeah, and that wouldn't work for me because I got rid of that fool. So in the meantime, they have a patch slated for the 22nd. So
okay, so just wait.
Well, wait, or if you have Koth, then roll with it.
Right.
But I don't know if the workaround's 100%. I have a link in the show note for that. I'm trying to avoid spoilers because, dude, I'm way woefully behind on all the things I want to be on.
Yeah, we are.
So, all right. So next week, I want to talk about the new Flashpoint.
Yes.
And the end of the story. That's gonna be our discussion topic for next week. And that's all I've got for SWTOR. Do you got something else?
I do have one thing I just added in here, and this is actually a little, I'm going to say this, it grinds my gears.
Oh, God. Said Peter Griffin. Go ahead.
I know, right? Okay, so I don't know if any of our listeners play Fortnite. I know I don't.
I don't. We have a million students playing it right now.
Exactly. It's basically, from what I hear, it's like a cross between open world and Minecraft, and it's so anyways. But the big thing about it is it kind of reminds me of the fascination with the Disney game that you got the figures for and everything.
Oh, Infinity.
Thank you. But what it is like you just get skins, right? So you can get emotes and stuff like that. Well, there's an emote, and I get it's like level 92 emote or whatever, and it's a new dance that's done off of something that Conor McGregor does.
Oh, interesting.
The thing is it's almost an exact replica of the No Bones dance.
Ah, that's awesome.
And the thing is it's like that's been in SWTOR for like 4 years now.
Yeah, I love No Bones.
But they call it like boneless or bone.
Yeah, boneless probably. Yeah.
So and it's just like it's the same.
Yeah, No Bones is it's my signature move.
I know, right? And so I saw this, and I'm like, just like no.
Yeah, no, but I like it. I'm wondering how long Fortnite's gonna stick around. To be honest with you, but I don't know. Is it a fad? Is it a good game? I
did a little research on it because, like, okay, well, with stuff like this, I that seems like the sort of thing I'd get into with the different skins and stuff.
Yeah.
Then I looked into it. It's like it's all group content unless you get the battle royale, and then it's forced PvP. And I'm like, no.
Well, from what I was under the impression it was more. There was a lot of. Well, we obviously don't know anything about this game, but it's like everybody's in. Maybe that's a battle royale where everybody starts together, and then the last one standing kind of.
Yeah, that's the battle royale part. That's the single player game, or you can do it in groups, I think. But the actual Fortnite is like you have objectives, like you have to build up a protector thing because it's whatever, and but you have to do it in groups.
Well, I don't know. I'm toying with the idea of checking it out because obviously, here we are.
All right, so Star Wars?
Oh, I yawned, and then you yawned, and now we're yawning. Here we are.
You're a yawner.
Wait, where is it? Oh.
I was raised to do one thing. But I've got nothing to fight for.
Nothing will stand in our way. I will finish what you started.
All right, dude. We got some. We don't have a whole lot of Star Wars this week. This is a interesting lull right before Han Solo, and
Yeah, we're 2 weeks out.
yeah, dude. I mean, it's a trip. We knowing we have Deadpool next week, and then the week after Han Solo. I got to make sure I don't
And then
pick up
a
any shifts.
few weeks after that is Jurassic World.
Yeah, and then Jurassic World. Yeah, no, the bumpers, Pendragons are. There's no video, so that's why you're not seeing anything. But we'll put some stuff up here in just a second. So, all right, Star Wars discussion topics. So we got Carrie Fisher's personal Star Wars scripts pages are going up for sale, and I don't know how often they do this, but the numbers are kind of weird, dude. You know what I'm saying?
You mean like the initial bids?
Yeah, so this says, let me make sure I got this right. So it says Star Wars fans have an opportunity to purchase script pages owned by Leia Organa herself, Carrie Fisher. They're from A New Hope. And it says, each page comes encased in glass, accompanied by a collage of photos from 1977 film that saw the actress make her debut, etc., etc. A script page with Princess Leia dialogue sells for $599, while pages without are for $499. And the frame collages are limited to just 100 pieces. So, I mean, by the time we're talking about this, I imagine this will be done. But this is it'd be kind of cool to own something like this one day, though.
Yeah, it just shows where, since she and her mom died, right after each other.
Yeah.
It's basically her brother that I'm guessing and her daughter that inherited most of the stuff. So
Yeah.
that's where this is all going. And I'm guessing some of it's going to go to charity
For sure.
and stuff like that. It's just kind of interesting how this is what they're doing with their script pages. But Peter Mayhew was tweeting out over the course of a couple years all of his script pages.
Yeah. And I like that they do stuff like that, honestly, because, I mean, I don't know. Anything that you can put out there, I think, from these guys, especially now that, I mean, who do we have left? We have certain people that are left, but they're getting older.
Yeah, Mark Hamill, Harrison Ford, Spielberg, Lucas,
and of course
Frank Oz, Peter Mayhew still there,
Billy D, and all them. So anyway.
Anthony Daniels.
Yeah. So we're not done.
Right.
But at the same time, like, Carrie Fisher's going to be missed, and I'm really curious to see. I mean, we've talked about this a ton.
Right.
Like, what's going to happen with Episode 9. So, hopefully we find out something about that in the next, 6 months, right? Because next year is 9, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we got to find out something.
Well, it's spring. It's winter next year, so you.
Yeah, we have December.
Yeah, you have a year and a half.
Yeah.
After Solo.
Well, once Solo is done and the dust
start getting
settles,
some news.
Yeah, we'll get something.
Well, they're not even in production yet, so.
Exactly. All right, so Star Wars Day. What do we got? How did you feel about Star Wars Day this year?
I thought it was pretty low key.
Yeah.
I mean, there were some sales going on. Mostly it was people posting on their social medias saying, "Oh, this is how I'm celebrating."
I got a lot of props from the kids, a lot from the students. A lot of them wrote on my whiteboard, "Happy Star Wars Day" and stuff, and that's cool. I'm glad that happened. But I didn't dive down the rabbit hole of merchandise available that day. But one stood out to me that I saw that I love. I wish I had this.
The Admiral Piet figure.
Yeah. So the Black Series Admiral Piet figure arrives for Star Wars Day, and that would be really cool. It's a 6-inch figure. Obviously it's part of the Black Series, but
right.
It'd be really cool to have that. I like that guy.
The one thing I did actually look into that I'm excited about, and actually put a link for it in today's newsletter. If you go to shopdisney.com/OurUniverse, all of the Her Universe collection, which is now called Our Universe because it's for more than just women.
Right.
They have a whole Star Wars line that came out on May the 4th, and it's released through Shop Disney. Also, big shout outs to who does Her Universe?
Oh, her name just flew out
I
of my
never
head.
remember her name.
Yeah, that's fine.
Anyways, she came out with her book
Yeah.
this week. It just came out on Tuesday.
Nice.
So please get a copy of that. Support her.
Very cool. All right, so book news. You got some?
Yeah, speaking of books, I actually was pretty excited about this because remember a couple weeks ago we were talking about possibilities of where Resistance is going to go, storylines of in between stuff,
Right.
and how it would be kind of cool to think. And we're talking about the possible things that they could change with Rey's backstory, and it had to do with the Millennium Falcon, how it got to Jakku and everything. Well, there's going to be a series of books coming out called Flight of the Falcon, and it's going to explain the history of where the Falcon has been.
Well, and just to harken back to the EU, I think the book. I want to say the book was called Millennium Falcon back then. I don't remember. I have to find it in my audiobooks, but it really was like the multiple changing of hands in the EU,
Right.
Of the Falcon. And I thought that was cool, man. So I'm glad they're doing this canonically.
Yes.
I guess I should say.
Very cool. Yeah, I'm excited for it.
Yeah, and we'll see what happens. So speaking of that TV show,
Yeah, Resistance. They got a new casting for it, and there's somebody they're pulling from Saturday Night Live.
you remember who it is?
Yeah, it is. It's Bobby Moynihan. Did your mic go out?
Did it? No, I still hear
No, I
myself.
can hear it.
Why?
For some reason, I'm hearing myself muffled.
Oh, well, you're just muffly.
Yeah, weird. All right, so yeah, Bobby Moynihan is getting brought in to voice
Nice.
a character.
That's cool.
I really like Bobby Moynihan. So.
Nice, dude. That's awesome. Battlefront news. Han Solo's season is starting soon, obviously.
I heard about this.
And this is that's all I'm throwing out there. Neither of us are playing Battlefront, but I like that they're continuing, the content for the films as they
Right.
go forward.
Yeah,
So I
absolutely.
think that's good. So I have a link in the show notes to that if you're playing Battlefront. Sorry, I'm not, but I just wanted to throw that out there. And we do have some parks news, man, and I love me some parks news right now.
You do, because
I love it.
This is awesome.
Yeah, so they're still working on the Guardians of the Galaxy themed roller coaster, and that's going to be at Epcot.
Right, we talked about this a couple months ago, and we talked about how they were closing down the Aerosmith Rock and Roller Coaster.
Yep.
And they're putting in that location.
I think there's a little video. Do you want to maybe
Awesome.
throw this
Let's
up?
watch it.
Here, give me just a second. Hold, please, everyone.
I will have to say I am disappointed that I actually I've been to Disney World twice, and I've never been on Rock and Roller Coaster.
Really? Aerosmith?
It just didn't work out. With the first time I went, I was with my brother, and we decided to go on Tower of Terror twice.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was before Tower of Terror opened in California Adventure, and then we decided to go to the Fantasmic show.
Right.
So
I
we
love
didn't get a chance
Phantasm.
because we only had one day at Hollywood Studios.
Oh, okay.
Oh no, this doesn't make sense then, because if it's going on,
This is Epcot.
yeah, I could have sworn they said it was going to be at Hollywood Studios.
No, they changed some stuff around. So
Okay, then yeah, I don't know where it's going then.
So let's check this out. Sick. So much standing. Oh, that's sick. That was just the foundation.
17 hours to lay the well, because you've got to go all out because when you're dealing with concrete, you've got to make sure
Right.
it's all in
That's insane.
place.
I'm excited about that. I really wish that. Well, there's a lot of changes happening, and I'd like to do a show about this soon. There's a lot of changes happening in DCA around Pixar and Guardians and
Yeah,
stuff
they're
like
doing
that.
Pixar Fest this summer.
Right, but there's also there's a lot of stuff happening, and I'd like to cover that here soon. In the next couple weeks, we'll do it.
Cool.
All right, so Disneyland adding new Pirates of the Caribbean meet and greet character.
And who shall this be?
Well, should we have a drum roll or?
Okay.
It's going to be Red, a fierce and independent nomadic pirate, will step straight out of the ride this summer as a fiery redhead trades in the auction block for a stroll around Disneyland Park's New Orleans Square. So this is part of the
reimagining, yeah.
Of
Because it takes Red from
pirates.
being the primary wench
Right.
to being the primary pirate
like pirate main character
Yes.
protagonist kind
for
of
that
thing.
section of the ride.
Exactly. So, and I think that's cool.
Oh, absolutely. And honestly, most rides have that singular character that you have a video going.
It's silent.
Most rides have that singular character. Like when you go on Haunted Mansion, right?
Mhm.
It's either Master Gracie or the Hatbox Ghost or the Widow
Right.
that you normally think of. With Pirates of the Caribbean, it's Red. It's Jack Sparrow. Those
Right.
are the major ones that most people think of.
Well, and I have a link in the show notes for this. There's more to this article than we're saying, but what I think is kind of cool, it says, "Pirates call me R for short." The brassy Buccaneer tells Disney Parks, who debuted the first look at the upcoming character encounter. "I've been around the world, but the sea is always home." So,
Are they saying where it's going to be located?
it doesn't. Hold on. Oh, New Orleans Square.
Well, yeah, but
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of where they could place it.
They're just gonna. I think it's gonna be. Well, that's actually a good point.
You
I'm
know-
guessing down one of the alleys.
Well, they
no,
have-
but they can't congest that.
Well, they could have it in the, when you go over and there's a stairs, there's a couple, but that's kind of blocked up.
Yeah.
If you, at the very end of the road that Pirates is on the right, there's a pin shop
Yeah,
that has an entrance door and an exit door. That could be an easy.
they could do that, but I think it would get really congested
Well,
if,
yeah,
they have a
anywhere-
character meet
Yeah. Oh, you know what? The only other place I can think is if they placed her
by the train station.
by the train station because
Yeah.
they've got that statue in the middle, and they
Mm-hmm.
already have a queue line set up there.
Yeah, and I was thinking the same thing. I was like, that's the only really open area there that they can divert other traffic.
Right.
I think that would work.
Yeah, it works.
But I'm really excited to see how the ride changes. I hope it's open. We're going in July, mid-July. It should
I
be.
think it's already open again.
Oh yeah, it should be.
Yeah.
It should be. Good. All right, dude. Shall we?
We should. Before we get into Universal roundup, though, our usual roundup, I do want to go back to saying what the release schedule coming up is.
Oh,
This week, which is tomorrow, is Life of the Party, the new Melissa McCarthy movie. Next week is Deadpool 2 and Book Club, which actually, looks pretty funny. It's about a group of 60-year-old
yeah, I
women
saw that. Yeah,
that get a hold of 50 Shades of Grey.
yeah.
And then the week after that is Solo. And then it's kind of an off week, a couple of smaller titles. And then the week after that is Ocean's 8.
Okay.
Then Incredibles 2 with Tag. And then the week after that is Jurassic World. And then...
Solo.
Yeah, well then...
Solo was before that.
No, I already said Solo.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and that takes us through the end of June. And then we've got The First Purge, Ant-Man, Hotel Transylvania 3, Skyscraper, Mamma Mia, Mission Impossible, Teen Titans Go. Yeah,
A lot of movies.
a lot of movies coming up this summer.
It's gonna be a good summer, man.
Yeah, it is. All right, so usual roundup.
Hold, please. The thing about I won't say that now. Okay, let's move on.
I can't imagine any kind of future where I'm a hero.
Well, you're not.
In the future, none of you are heroes. You're legends.
Oh, always reminds me how behind I am on that stuff. So
I know, right?
let's so speaking of being crazy cool stuff. All right. Did I share with you the NBA thing?
Yes.
Okay.
And we talked about this a couple months ago when the draft first happened.
Yeah. So the NBA is now sponsoring an esports league.
Right.
And
An
so
NBA 2K League.
yeah, so what they're doing is a lot of the teams in the NBA are basically looking at it as their, another league where they sponsor players and they're going to do playoffs, they're going to do a regular season, it's going to be a whole deal.
Yeah,
And
if I remember correctly, 18 of the teams have done
I think
it.
I think it might be 20 now.
Is it
actually.
20 now?
Yeah.
Well, when the draft happened, the thing is the people they draft, actual esport players,
Yeah.
they have to move to those cities
That's amazing.
And they get a contract for $35,000 a year.
Yeah.
That's more than the G League players make.
Yeah.
Because the G League players make about $28,000 a year.
It's insane.
But what Adam,
And they compete for $1 million pot.
But what Adam Silver, who's the commissioner of the NBA, says is like he's considering this to be the fourth NBA league because you have NBA, WNBA, the G League, and now the Esports League.
Which I love. I love that they're
absolutely.
putting that on the same level as, well, I mean, same level, but they're treating it like, okay, this is another thing we're doing. You know?
Yeah, exactly. And actually, it dawned on me with your new position. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
Have you thought about looking into seeing what it would take to get esports recognized as a CIF competition?
I have a lot of things I'm working on, and what Will's alluding to is I'm actually moving out of my English department next year, and I'm going to teach a computer science class, media production class. We're going to do some podcasts. We're going to do a bunch of stuff, but I'm trying to rope in, get the gamers and geeks producing stuff. And that's really what I want to do.
Get them out of being consumers and content and make them content creators
and create stuff. And so if there are people that are interested in trying to do something like this as far as esports goes, that would be something I'd definitely be into.
Oh,
for sure. And speaking of segues to that, the Olympics is considering esports as well.
Which is so crazy to me considering they got rid of baseball at the last Olympics.
And let's bring in video games. But the stipulation, obviously, with video games in esports, or esport video games in the Olympics, it couldn't be anything violent or anything sexist or anything like that. So, and I have a link in the show notes, but it would be things like maybe Mario Kart or
NBA. Well, it can't be NBA 2K. There's that, but it could be FIFA. Or
there's a bunch of stuff in there that would qualify. That would, I think, really be really cool to see.
Isn't League of Legends not violence based? That's already one of the bigger leagues.
There's a little list in League of Legends. I think wouldn't qualify, but let me check this out. So there's some suggestions, and this is from Geek and Sundry. Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, Mario Kart 8. Mario Brothers 3, obviously that was from back in the day. Dance Dance Revolution would be another one. Getting Over It, I'm not familiar with.
Any of the Guitar Hero stuff.
Yeah, but any of the rhythm-based stuff would be fine too. But honestly, man, it'd be really, really cool to see any video games in the Olympics. And
right.
And that means that gamers have something more than like, I'm just going to play this game in isolation. It's like, okay, I'm working towards a goal.
Right.
And whether they make it or not, like there's something about being able to be competitive in the thing that you love. For example, I love golf, right? I'm not a great golfer. I'm okay. I'm better than the average, right? Or than most people. But at the same time, I'm nowhere near some of the guys I play with and definitely nowhere near the pros. But I can compete, and I love competing. And just being able to compete towards something, and whether it be a qualifier or something like that, to go to a next level of something, that means something.
Exactly.
So even if you don't get there, there's something about that competitiveness that's exciting.
Right, absolutely. It's very similar to like using golf as an example, is having the amateur status stuff with the U.S. Open, and that it's still an open qualifier.
Exactly. All right, so outside of that, let's get to real review stuff. I'm pretty excited about this first story.
Yeah, well, we've been talking about this for a couple of years now. But
Yeah, we have
it's
been.
official that Bill and Ted 3 is officially going forward, and it will have Keanu Reeves and Alex Winter. And what will it be called?
It's called Face the Music.
Right.
And in honor of that, now that they're going forward with the film, there is a brand new Blu-ray collection that's coming out that I have a link in the show notes
I'm guessing
for.
it's going to have Excellent Adventure, Bogus Journey, and possibly the cartoon.
Yeah, there's some other stuff in there too. Here we go. It's the new commentary for Excellent Adventure, bunch of commentary tracks. There's a documentary as well. It's called Time Flies When You're Having Fun. A brand new extensive documentary looking back at most Excellent Adventure.
You know what would be awesome is
I would love to buy this. I'm going to buy this.
They did a behind the music of Wild Stallions.
Oh, dude, I'm going to buy this. We watched the movies with the kids. and they loved it. It's one of those movies, like, it's so adorable and harmless and fun. Like, my kids, even over a year ago when we showed it to them, I mean, they're 9 and 6 now. They were probably, I don't know, 8 and 5 then. I mean, they loved it. They loved it. Hey, Zen, how you doing, buddy? Thanks for being here, man.
Did you have them watch the second one with the game against the death?
No, we haven't watched Bogus Journey. We watched the first one. That was it. Yeah. Anyway, welcome to everybody who's in the chat room. We are winding down, but we're getting to some cool stuff here. So, TV news.
Yeah, this is actually, May is really a big time for TV because you have upfronts and everything, and so you're starting to get, and we haven't had our upfronts yet, which means we don't know exactly what's coming for fall completely yet.
No way, he said.
But this is when we start hearing things about people, about episodes getting picked up, new episode orders, stuff like that. And there's some really big news I'm excited about.
Yeah, so the 100, which we watched most of the first season, and I liked it a lot. We watched so many things at a time, and we haven't gone back. But the 100 is being renewed for season 6, which is a big deal. I'm really stoked about this next one, only because I'm a big Goldbergs fan. I'm super current right now, and Rick Moranis is going to reprise his role, his Spaceballs role,
as Dark Helmet.
Dark Helmet.
The thing about this
on the Goldbergs.
Yeah, what's amazing about this is actually Rick Moranis has been out of movies for a while,
long time.
Because he's been doing his music. Mm-hmm. So, and he's actually, I think he won won a Grammy.
Well, either way, he's back doing some stuff, doing some acting, and I love that he's going to be on the Goldbergs, and I can't wait to see Dark Helmet on the Goldbergs. That's going to be awesome. Cool. And I've been meaning to get into Star Wars Trek Discovery because I know that I would love it, and I just haven't watched it yet. But Jonathan Frakes, he was reunited on the set with Marina Sirtis, who played Troy on Next Generation, and I love that. They were my favorite couple back in the day. I loved it.
Very cool.
So I think that's cool, and I can't wait. What I want to do is watch Discovery and then come back and talk more about this at some point.
This one is especially good for my brother Steve. If you're still in the chat room, please listen up. Outlander has been renewed for not only season 4 but also seasons 5 and 6.
And just like I was just saying, the wife and I watched about half the first season of Outlander, and which is really a cool show.
Yeah, Steven and his wife really dig it. It's based on incredibly popular book series.
Yeah, and we just didn't go back, sadly.
Okay, now this is the one I am excited for.
Yeah, this is great. So, and it's a long time coming because there was a lull there of whether they were going to get renewed.
Well, the thing is, it's like, okay, this is we're talking about Rick and Morty. Yeah, they've done 3 seasons, so they've only done less than 40 episodes.
Sure.
Because I think it was like 11, 12, or 13 or something like that. Mm-hmm. So they've got less than 40 episodes. They got an episode. People were worried about they weren't going to get picked up at all.
Right.
In that Adult Swim wasn't making them a priority, and all we wanted was an episode order for 4th season, which would have been about 10 or 11 episodes.
Right.
They made an order for 70 more episodes.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So you're looking at a good 6 or 7 seasons.
Yeah, so that's great. And Rick and Morty fans rejoice. It's going to be great.
Word.
Pickle Rick. All right, so shall we get to Universal?
Absolutely.
So you have some DC news.
I do. So there's a rumor that Peter Jackson is considering a DC movie.
Yeah.
Because right now we already talked about how they're...
What's he been doing?
Well, he has a movie coming out later this year, and then we had a discussion a few weeks ago. We were talking about how Amazon is doing a Middle Earth series, right, and he might be involved in that, but he's kind of deciding between that and DC. He would basically have his choice of doing whatever project he wants if he were to pick a DC.
Oh, of course.
I would like to see him pick up the mantle of the
like Feige? Not Feige.
No. I want him to actually just do a movie, but it's for the what's the last movie? Justice League, the Dark Justice League.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
The one that's headed up by Constantine.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Which was I think Guillermo del Toro was supposed to do it for a little bit. Now I think he would be good to do it because if you remember back to when he did the Michael J. Fox movie, The Frighteners.
Yeah.
He could definitely do family-friendly dark film, which is really what DC needs right now.
Yeah, I'm down with that. I got a little bit of Wonder Woman news, sort of.
Yeah, so they've already started production, and it's come to light how much Patty Jenkins is getting paid.
Yeah, she got a slight increase.
A little bit?
Somewhere around 7 to 9 mil.
Increase. Or is how much she's making?
It says, okay, so it's Patty Jenkins officially signed up to helm the sequel back in September. It was reported she would get a major increase in salary. Yeah, so she got a $7 to $9 million increase.
Nice.
You're right. And yeah, so that's going to make all the money.
So why don't you tell me what Bob Iger has been saying?
It's hard to say, dude. I only saw part of this article. So
right. Bob Iger is Disney's CEO.
Yeah, we know that.
And right now, we've talked about the Disney Fox buyout for a while now. All the paperwork has been done, but what they need to do is go through basically the equivalent of all the SEC approvals for all the countries around the world.
Right.
Because it's going to have to do, because they're buying part of Sky, they'd have to go through Britain. Because they're buying the Indian telecom section, they have to go through India. All these different things, right? Well, what this does is it allows other companies to be able to swoop in and try to do a buyout of certain parts of it.
Right.
And evidently Comcast is trying to buy something.
They're trying to buy the Fox part of the Fox deal. So,
right.
But Iger says, I'm not going to speculate at all about what Comcast is doing or why they're doing it. I can only reiterate that we made a deal in December that received unanimous approval, which is important by 21st Century Fox board. We're in the process of filing what we need to file to gain both regulatory approval and shareholder approval, etc. So down below it says, Disney is offering $52 million in stock options, which is different from Comcast's potential bid for an all-cash offer. So there's something going on there.
Yeah, the things about this is, if I remember correctly, Comcast did put in a bid with the original bid process. And even though it was more than Disney, they still picked Disney. So
because it says Comcast would offer an all-cash bid to top Disney's offer for 21st Century Fox assets on the condition the United States government would approve AT&T's acquisition of Time Warner.
Right.
So there's a whole bunch of stuff.
So
a lot of moving parts.
Yeah, so the AT&T Time Warner thing is much less likely to happen.
Yeah.
Just because that is a huge
That's
merger.
massive,
I mean, that makes the Disney Fox merger look like peanuts.
Yeah.
Now, the other thing going for it is, imagine you're Fox, right? You have all these wonderful properties. Most notably for what Disney wants it for is Fantastic Four, X-Men, and Deadpool.
Right.
Do you want to just take the money and run, which is what would happen if Comcast buys them? Or would you rather take stock options, knowing that they're going to go to an organization that's going to make those properties more valuable?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
So
I know, dude.
Ultimately, in the long run, I think those stock options would actually be worth more than the cash in hand.
And for a company like Comcast, I mean.
Right, and just because of the nature of inflation, cash on hand loses value as you go forward in time. So,
Indeed.
I think it's still a better deal for Disney. So,
All right. Speaking of a lot of money being spent, Mulan. Moving on.
Right.
The budget. Apparently, the budget makes it one of the most expensive movies ever made. Can that even be a thing?
Possibly.
Okay. So it says Disney's upcoming live-action Mulan reportedly carries a more than $290 million price tag. It's a lot of money, dude.
It is a lot of money, but it really depends on where it's filming.
So it says, for comparison, the studio spent close to $300 million, quotes, on superhero crossover epic Infinity War, which cost the studio upwards of $450,000 a day, which I'll talk about later in the show as well. And it says, if the $290 million plus budget for Mulan holds true, it will make Disney's latest animation to live-action translation one of the most expensive movie productions in history. For Mulan.
That's going to be a huge hit.
No, it's going to be amazing.
It is, but
I can't wait. But it's a lot of money.
It is, but what I think they're really banking on is a massive international return, especially
Yeah.
in China.
Oh, for sure. Especially in China, for sure. All right, man. So let's get to Netflix because there's a couple of cool stuff in Netflix. So we got Netflix's Bright sequel. So Max Landis, he was in charge of the first one.
Right. And
Correct.
this is John Landis' son.
And Max Landis is also in charge of Holistic Detective.
Dirk Gently.
Dirk Gently, he's a crazy person, by the way. Max Landis. I was on that. I went to that panel in San Diego last year.
Right.
He's brilliant, brilliantly crazy, which I love. But anyway, it looks like the Bright sequel has tapped Evan Spiliotopoulos, I don't know, who penned The Huntsman, Winter's War, and Disney's live-action Beauty and the Beast to take over the script duties for original writer Max Landis.
Okay.
So that's cool.
I mean, I would be a little concerned about the Huntsman, Winter's War, but you know, if you wrote Beauty and the Beast,
Yeah.
that was a moneymaker. So
Yeah, and I'm sorry, I mispronounced his name insanely.
it's all good.
Here we are.
This is one that I'm really excited about. There's a documentary coming to Netflix this month, and it's called Making Fun: The Story of Funko.
Oh, finally. I really like to hear this story.
So this would be very cool. And this is something kind of close to my heart because, first of all, I've got a couple of friends that work for Funko.
Yeah.
But I lived up just north of Seattle for 10 years, and it's based out of Everett, Washington,
Yeah.
right up there.
Well, also, like, as someone who goes to geek conventions,
Funko is everywhere.
and Funko is literally everywhere. Funko Fun Day is the big thing in San Diego for Comic-Con and that kind of thing, and so and a lot of exclusives come up, and they're Funko based. So yeah, that'd be cool. I would love to hear that story. I really want to hear that.
Yeah, I
story.
really want to. We didn't make it to the Funko pop-up shop last year.
Yeah.
Because it was the first year they did it. I really want to go this year.
Well, and on that note,
It was a little too far away.
well, not only that, but in San Diego, like knowing that, I lost my train of thought. It had to do with Funko and what was going on. Anyway, I'll come back to it. But
Kevin Smith.
no, but I mean, what? I guess the big part is just merchandise in general, and a lot of it having to do with Funko and Funko being a part of what drives people going to these booths and getting those exclusives and stuff like that. I think that's important. So,
Absolutely.
all right, man. So let's get to Marvel.
This one's you.
Awkward silence. Just mess around. Okay, so what do we got? We have, speaking of collectibles, Infinity War Hot Toys Cos Baby bobblehead figures. I will link in the show notes to it. It's pretty darn cool looking. It's Hot Toys Cos Baby bobblehead lineup for Avengers Infinity War is basically what it is. And they're available direct from Disney. There's links in that for that. They look pretty darn cool, dude. I mean, they're not Funko, but
Yeah, well, I'm not a big fan of bobbleheads just because
Yeah.
they, unless you have a proper way to display them, they can wear out over time. And
exactly. Do you want to wait on any of this Avenger stuff? Do we want to do another spoiler show? Because I feel like we've done 2 spoiler shows in a row.
yeah, I'd say just skip it.
Okay, so want to skip all of it?
I'd say skip the first 2.
Okay, we'll take the first 2 out. So
That's all speculation.
Yeah. So we had a reaction show 2 weeks ago, Will and I and our friend Dan, and then we also last week I had a little bit of spoilers with John Skeen, who was here for Will last week. So refer back to those shows for sure, and I'm thinking next week we'll come back to more spoiler heavy stuff. I didn't want to do another spoiler heavy thing, but speaking of Avengers of Infinity War, they spent around $450,000 a day.
Yeah, but was that for the movie or was that for the reshoots?
It's a lot of money. So Avengers Infinity War cost Marvel Studios upwards of $450,000 a day and went over budget. Something the Russo brothers were saying they attributed to an expensive cast, expensive visual effects, and day-to-day running of a massive production. So, it is what it is. The cast gets all of it, etc., etc. We give most of it to Downey, Russo joked. which is funny. Because
Well,
obviously
considering he gets paid like $50 million.
he gets a lot of money. But it's just expensive. It's expensive to shoot a movie like that, dude. And especially when you're shooting 2 movies at a time, too.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
So just kind of give people an update. As of yesterday, Avengers was at 479 million. And what that does, that puts it at... Sorry, 1 second. That puts it at number 12 all time.
wow.
Next thing it has to beat is Finding Dory in $9 million or $7 million. It has in the next $100 million it'll pass. Well, actually, in just in the next $60 million it'll jump up to 8th place all time.
Damn.
To kind of put it in perspective, the last major juggernaut, Black Panther, which is now pushed to number 3 all time and is getting ready to crack 700 million. It's at 694 right now.
Crazy.
In its first 13 days, it did 428 million. So we already know that Black Panther is probably going to have had longer legs by the end of it, but it still has about a $50 million lead on it. But also in comparison, Force Awakens at this point had already hit 629 million.
Crazy. So what I want to do is I want to come back to this last one in that section
Okay.
next week because I have some thoughts on that, and I want to do a spoiler free this week, and then next week I want to come back
And just spoil the crap out of stuff?
Well, the name of the I'll just not to bury the lead is Avengers Infinity War this generation's Empire Strikes Back.
Right.
And if you have an opinion on that, email us, tweet us, whatever, and we'll talk about it next week.
Sounds like a plan.
Oh, we can't talk about any of the Avengers 4 stuff then.
Yeah, skip all that because we'll come back to it next week.
Damn. Okay. I'm gonna highlight this and do something.
Okay, we can talk about a couple of Captain Marvel things.
Yeah, let's do that.
So Annette Bening, Academy Award nominee, Annette Bening, who is fantastic, has been cast in Captain Marvel in a super secret role.
Yeah, and I'm glad it's secret. I'm glad that
It's very much how Peter Dinklage was secret until we got to
exactly.
Avengers.
Well, and yeah, not to try to spoil stuff, but Peter Dinklage's role was
Awesome.
amazing, which we talked about. Which you hear us talk about that on the reaction.
It was spot
show,
on.
so.
This next one you put in. Tell us about a battle scene.
So there was a battle scene that was revealed, and that is going to be in where they reveal the location of the battle scene. Shaver Lake. I don't know where that is. Hold on, let me find it. Fans got an early look at how that all starts. Things this video from Bass Lake Summer Facebook page. Let me find it. Yeah, so huge chunks of metal debris on the beach of Shaver Lake, which I don't know where that is. It's not telling me where it is. Where's Shaver Lake, dude?
I don't know. Let me look it up.
It's funny it doesn't say where it is. Footage shows the crew reworking the terrain a bit, while also adding huge chunks of metal debris on the beach of Shaver Lake, and no other
It's
ships.
right outside of Fresno.
Okay. Oh shoot, that's close. Where I grew up. Cool. That was sounded familiar. Okay, so that's cool. I'm down. It's nice to know that's happening near us. You know.
Well, relative, as close as you can be near in California.
Just give me this. Don't take this away from me.
It's actually right next to the Sierra National Forest and Kings Canyon National Park.
Exactly.
All right, so that's it for Marvel stuff. You have some pretty cool news here for SMOD.
And this is going to be a bridge into the tail end of our show, which usually is around San Diego Comic-Con, which is, especially this time of year, important to talk about. So let's hash this out. So we got Kevin Smith is coming back.
Right.
He's doing 3 shows.
Which he normally does. But
Thursday, Friday,
but
and
the lineup
Saturday.
is different this year.
The lineup is different. There's no Fat Man on Batman.
Right.
We've got a Jay and Silent Bob Get Old.
Right.
Hollywood Babylon on Saturday.
Which we're going to.
Right. And what's the third show? What was the third show? Is it Fat Man? It might be Fat Man.
Are you sure?
Let me check. Yeah, it is Fat Man. Sorry.
Oh, they must have added it in.
Yeah, I don't know why I thought it wasn't Fat Man. So it's Fat Man on Batman Thursday. Jam,
Well, it makes sense because then Bernard will be free to do all the
all the other
Castle
stuff
Rock
he's doing. And then Jay and Silent Bob Get Old on Friday, and then Hollywood Babylon on Saturday.
And is Kevin Smith doing the IMDb vote again?
He hasn't said, but I'm guessing they're gonna rope him in for that.
I don't. I think I have a feeling he's just gonna be taking a diminished role.
Yeah.
Because of the heart attack. So
yeah, we'll see. But we bought our tickets for Hollywood Babylon for Saturday night.
Yes, we did.
Because this is our 8th year? 7th year in a row.
Your 8th. No, your 7th, my 6th.
That's right. Okay.
Because I took one off.
Yeah, that's right. Last year was my 6th. Yeah. So I'm excited. I wouldn't mind seeing Fat Man again, but at the same time, I can't do.
You fell asleep during Batman, but we had bad.
It was on the back end too.
It was on the back end. It was the very last night, and
it was after our Puck Cantina.
Dude, we were exhausted,
and I was done.
And because we were at our Puck Cantina late, we got we were in the last row,
and we
couldn't see anything.
I just curled up, couldn't see him. Had my drink and then went to sleep a little bit.
Yeah, and it was frustrating because the year before we had gotten front row seats.
Right.
We actually got to shake their hands.
Yeah, that was really cool. So I'm super stoked about
Babylon. Cannot wait.
Yeah. So we got our tickets for that. So if you are going to be in the area and you want to join us, get your tickets now.
Yeah, the last couple of years we've met some really cool people out in the things, and
really cool.
They're still listening to us. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. We get very, I'm not a very social person.
Yeah.
But I usually do get involved as much as my back and feet can handle. Although I am bound and determined to remember to bring one of those fold-up seats.
Yeah, get one of those things, dude. But yeah, so I'm excited. Smith is back, obviously doing his shows. We're just going to do the one show this year, but Comedy Club is a fun place to see it. If you buy a ticket, but it depends on when you get there is how close to the front you are.
Right, it's all first come, first served.
So you get there early.
You get good seats.
You get a good seat, so that's good. Excuse me. Castle Rock is coming to San Diego Comic-Con as well.
Right, we watched the trailer during trailer time.
We did watch the trailer during trailer time. I think they're going to have, Hulu is going to have an increased presence this year. And let's see if they're going to do an offsite. Yeah, so according to several reports from the Hulu's upfronts, they plan to be doing a bunch of stuff. So I don't know what it looks like yet, if it's going to be an offsite or not. But we'll keep you posted for sure, because that's going to be cool. And then the Rickmobile is coming back. Rick and Morty mobile.
Yes.
And now that I'm a Rick and Morty fan, I've watched all the things since.
Dude, I've watched them multiple times.
Yeah, I'm going to go and check that out. So that's coming.
Absolutely, it's a mobile store. So
yeah, they do a road. They drive, from a location. They come to Comic-Con. They open up. It's a mobile store. It's a
dude.
blast.
I just want to get a Pickle Rick plush.
Yeah.
And just throw it on my dashboard.
Yeah, there it is. All right, dude. So anything else San Diego Comic-Con wise? Oh, we should talk about our cantina. So we are working on our venue. We've been doing Mission Brewing Company for the last 2 years. And they may not be able to accommodate us this year.
Because they're booking for the entire week.
They might be booked for the entire week. So we are looking for another venue for our Puck Cantina. If you're
a San Diego local, please send us suggestions. We are looking basically for a fairly localized to Gaslamp area that has a side room where we can record.
A side room, and upstairs. Just
Downstairs.
A spot where 20 people can get and actually record a podcast that's not in the middle of a bar,
right? Exactly.
On a Friday night, because we are shooting for Friday night of San Diego and Comic-Con, and that is because we don't want to overbook ourselves this year, and we have Babylon Saturday night, so we're shooting for Friday night.
Yes.
All right, guys. Good.
I will say my one last thing is the people that put on Phoenix Comic Fest, which I went to a few years ago, and they also do Minneapolis Fest. They are putting on a new convention in Las Vegas. That's going to be this September, and I'm considering about putting in for a media pass for myself. If you're local to Vegas, or if you know anything about the Vegas area, and you would like to see us cover that, please let us know, and we'll see if we can follow through on that.
Also, one more thing, since we're adding one more thing, I'm actually going to be in Disneyland right before San Diego this year, And if anybody else is traveling on Wednesday to San Diego Comic-Con, I'd love to hitch a ride with you and avoid one flight if possible.
I think I was talking to my brother. I think I'm going to end up taking the train.
Oh, yeah.
So if you want to jump on the train with me.
Yeah, we'll see. I got to figure something out.
Cool.
Flights are getting expensive. I booked my flight to Houston today, and that was almost $500.
Oh, I'm sure.
So.
Yeah, so we'll look into that. Also, please do not forget to start designing your Puck 3 shirt and submit that and see if you can win the winning design.
Indeed. So, thanks for tuning in to The Usual Podcast. If you have comments or questions, you can find us at theusualpodcast.com. Email us at theusualpodcast@gmail.com. And we're on Facebook, Google+, Pinterest, Instagram, Twitch, and YouTube. I am at Dog Pops on Twitter, and Will is at Admiral Griggs. Find us on all your favorite podcatchers, iTunes, Stitcher, Radio, Google Play, and all the rest. Support the show, teespring.com/store/usualpodcast. audibletrial.com/usualpodcast. Get a free audiobook on us. There's a ton of stuff out there. And the best way to support us is patreon.com/usualpodcast.
Yes,
and we have a bunch of tiers set up.
Yeah,
and
join Eddie and John and become our drinking buddies.
Become a drinking buddy. And, have some fun. Have a fun.
Excuse me, you're stealing my line.
I was trying not to, but you didn't say it. So.
Jeez, have a fun.
Have a fun. We'll see you all next week.
Peace.
Thanks, everybody in the chat room. You guys are awesome. I really
Pendraco
appreciate
said
it.
this again. Thank you.
Pendracos, you're amazing. Zen, thanks for being there, man.
Zen got a sticker now.
Who? What?
Zen got his sticker for being a patron.
Nifty. Awesome. All right, guys. Thanks for being here. I think my wife just showed up, so I'm going to go do fatherly things.
It's time for me to go eat dinner.
Yeah, and dinner has not happened for me either. So it's time to go. Thank you, everybody, for being in the chat room. You guys are awesome.
Night, guys.
We'll see you all next week. Good night.